Okay, welcome to Lesson 3, Vertical Angles and Linear Pairs. What I want you to do is to get into GeoGebra, click on Algebra, and get to this screen. Once we're here, we're going to get rid of some things. We're going to get rid of the axes, and we're going to add in the grid. And we do this by right-clicking. Next, I want you to add in 2 lines. They don't have to be exactly like this. They can be anywhere you want. Then I want you to put a point where they intersect. What you're going to do now is using the angle tool, you're going to figure out what these 2 angles are. Just move these out of the way so we can see them. After you create this, and you don't have to do these 2 angles, you can do the top and the bottom angle, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. After you do this, I want you to pick one of these points. I want you to move it around and look what happens to the angles. I want you to discuss in your group what you think happens and what you see happens. Okay, now that you've restarted the video and you've come to some conclusions, I hope that you notice that no matter how you move these points around, even if you move different points, these 2 angles are always going to be the same measure. They're always going to be congruent. These angles are called vertical angles. Vertical angle is an angle that is not adjacent meaning beside. So like this angle here is adjacent to that one and that one. But what you notice is that they're across from each other, basically. They're across the vertex. If you have 2 vertical angles, they are always congruent, no matter what. So 2 vertical angles are congruent. So what I want you to do now is we are going to come over here to this page, and I want you in your group to look at this page and figure out a couple pairs of vertical angles. You can pick any of them, just in your group, come up with a few. Okay. Now let's go back here to our first page. Now what I want you to do is to figure out a third angle. It doesn't matter where you figure it out. So I'm just going to determine this one. I'm going to move it so we can see it. Now, I want you to notice what happens with the new angle we just created, along with our 2 angles here. What do you notice with their measures? What do they add up to? What happens when you move? Is there some the same? So go ahead, pause the video, mess around with this, and see what your group comes up with. Okay? The thing I hope that you notice is that when you add these 2 angles together, they always add up to 180 degrees. These angles are called linear pairs. A linear pair are 2 adjacent angles that add up, that are supplementary. Supplementary meaning they add up to 180 degrees. So we have a linear pair here and a linear pair here. I want you to look here at this. Now at this picture again, and I want you to pause the video and just in your group come up with a few linear pairs. After you do that, the video is done and move on to the next thing.